So when they're saying, oh, you know, the streets is fine, it's just like it was in my 20s, what they're really saying is they're dating younger guys. You know what I mean? They're dating younger guys, and, you know, they're getting that good fix like they got when they were in their 20s, but now they're more, because remember, they're more sexually expeditious, right? So, you know, you dating a younger guy, you getting your groove back, right, Stella? Am I the kind of wife that a man would want to spend the rest of their lives with? You know what I mean? Like, the way I am right now, like what I just did an hour ago. Is my husband gonna trust me? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like they know this, but if a woman ain't got hope, then what she got? Right? You know what I mean? So, and I remember overhearing this in a talk. Someone proposed that there's going to be a sugar mama era. You know what I mean? Like that's coming down the pipeline. With so many single women out here, and then of course the women outnumber the men. There's less men to choose from. So you got a young crop of fresh young dudes entering the dating market. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes used to say, oh, there's a chick turn 18 every day. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, and flip that coin, flip that gender coin, right? So yeah, you got a fresh crop of young dudes, young naive dudes who just want love. You know what I'm saying? Who want the mommy? You know what I'm saying? Like, they just want their mommy. And you know, and they're single mother raised. You know what I mean? So they're very malleable and easily manipulated, right? So rack them up, ladies. 777. You know what I mean? And women really don't like recycling themselves. They don't like it does a lot to a woman. It does a lot to a woman's psychology to have to re-enter the dating market again and again. You know, I say it all the time. A woman's body is like a house with no doors. You know, imagine sleeping in a house with no doors. You know what I mean? Like what would your psychology be like if you had to sleep in a house with no doors? So yeah, she has to live in that fantasy where like, I want a husband who's gonna love me for me, and yeah, it's together forever. Yeah, you know, it's gonna love me for me. And they always think about how the man is gonna love them, and they never really contemplate. They never stop to contemplate how they're gonna love that man, how they're gonna treat that man, how they're gonna respect that man. You know, how they're gonna move, how they're gonna structure their life around that man. You spent since your 20s, you've been living for yourself, and then you're gonna live for your husband now. All of a sudden, what I just say? Do tigers change their stripes? Do tigers change their stripes? Come on, son. But I do believe that women after the age of 35 are simply set in their ways. I said it. So if she was in the streets before the age of 35, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that she's going to be in the streets after the age of 35. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It is what it is. The purpose of marriage is legacy building and wealth transfer. Yes, I said it. The purpose of marriage is for legacy building and wealth transfer. You know, what we used to say as kids: first come love, then come marriage, right? Then comes the baby in the baby carriage, right? Yeah. So yeah, the purpose of marriage is for legacy building and wealth transfer. If you're not having kids, you don't have a legacy. You know what I mean? There's nothing surviving you after you die. And then what are you transferring your wealth to? I notice, you know, women in my age range still pressuring marriage. Like, I don't understand it. I'm like, why? But you know, it kind of doesn't make sense for women in their 40s to pressure and vie for marriage. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of these women who are pressuring and vying for marriage in their mature ages, you know what I'm saying? They've had it a lot of them have had that at one point in time. You know what I mean? They've had it in the palm of their hands. You know what I'm saying? They had the world in their hands, and they blew it when they were young because ultimately they thought they can do better. Oh my God! How much better did you do, sis? You know what I'm saying? And here we are in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Here we are. You know what I mean? So why do you wait this late in life on some mystery man? Oh hell no! You know what I'm saying? Like, where is this man that you're trying to pull out of your back pocket that's gonna love you the way you deserve to be loved? And you know what I mean? Like, where is this man? Does this man exist? When they put sex on the back burner, and what they're really seeking, they're seeking companionship, partnership, survival, convenience, and maybe other things. You know what I'm saying? But that's the main thing. That's the main 4 things that they're seeking when they pressure marriage in their mature ages: companionship, partnership, survival, and convenience. However, the kicker is, you don't necessarily those things you're looking for. You don't necessarily have to be married to have. Oh my God! You don't have to be married to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have companionship and not be married. You know what I mean? You can have partnership and not be married. You can have a partner, a survival partner, and not be married. You can have convenience. You know what I'm saying? You see each other every day, and I love you so much. You know what I mean? And you're not married. You know what I mean? But you know, women are all about security and status. So it's hard to tell a woman that. Yeah, she knows you're right. She knows you're making sense, but it's hard for her to accept that because her brain isn't wired that way. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. We can't ignore the prevalence. We can't ignore the prevalence of all of these single women, whether they're mothers or not. You know what I'm saying? In the dating market, just you know, swishing around in the cesspool of the dating market. Right? You know what I'm saying? But as they get older, sex begins to take more of a back burner, especially that exhibitionary sex, you know what I'm saying? That just sleep and fuck, you know what I'm saying? Chill all day, waste the day away, you know what I'm saying? Roll around naked, get musty, you know what I'm saying? And, take several showers, all that, that good stuff, you know what I mean? That kind of gets on the back burner, and they're looking for more meaningfulness, you know what I mean? But then again, you had the meaningfulness. Why didn't you appreciate it? You know what I mean? But then again, and so now these women are getting to their mature ages and their elderly ages, and they're putting sex on the back burner, but they expect a man to spend the rest of their life with that? Like, how? Like, when does sex get put on the back burner for a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, but you want him to spend the rest of your life with you? Like, come on, really? So out of the women who spoke up, you know what I'm saying, the majority of them were saying, yo, the streets is great. You know what I'm saying? I was for the streets back then, and I'm for the streets now. And I likened a lot of that to, a zebra not changing their stripes. You know what I'm saying? Zebras don't change their stripes. Tigers don't change their stripes. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you are is who you are. And so when they get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm at this point, I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm set in my ways. I'm sexually expeditious. Not necessarily, I would say promiscuous, but just expeditious. You know what I'm saying? Like they might just bang one guy on a regular, but they're willing to try new things. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets spooky. You know? But and so they have all of these strikes against them in their mature age, and so it's like, well, do I still want to be do I want to be a wife? Yeah, I want a husband, but do I want to be a wife? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. And then they don't want to have to start over. A lot of times a woman will go back to a toxic dude, not because she still likes the dude or he still hits the spot or you know what I'm saying, or she has a soul tie with that dude. She goes back to him because he's familiar. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. She goes back to him because he's familiar. She don't have to start over. She don't have to gamble, you know what I'm saying, and find out new things about you, and she ain't got to go into all of that. She knows what she's getting. It's